This is the first in a series of videos where I'll be going through the Cardano DeFi ecosystem and looking for gains and opportunities to try and grow your bags. Yeah, so we've got ADA, we're holding on to it, but what can we actually do to participate in the Cardano ecosystem to grow that holding? I know a lot of people out there are simply just staking their ADA and waiting for those returns, but if there's no on-chain activity, there's no fees being generated, the whole ecosystem doesn't grow in its entirety. So we do need to try and start promoting the idea of DeFi, other staking opportunities, and participating in these projects that are growing and doing some really cool things in the Cardano space. So let's have a look at why I'm doing this and how I'm going to go through the whole process. And along the way, I'll share with you what I'm actually getting, what projects I'm getting into, how much I'm actually putting in on those projects. So I'm going to share a lot of details here. It's going to be really transparent. Now, before I go any further, none of this is financial advice. This is purely for entertainment purposes and educational purposes. I would like to cover what's happening in the DeFi ecosystem. I want to participate myself. So I'm going to find out, and you can learn from my own experiences. If I lose all my ADA here, so be it. It's me. It's not you guys. So there's a lot of risks in all of this. You'll see projects that are rugging or have rugged, and if you're holding on any of those tokens, you would lose all your assets. So please make sure consult a financial advisor. Only put in what you can afford to lose. Follow all that safe advice, and seed phrase, keep them safe, store them in a secure location. All that stuff. You know the drill, guys. So let's have a look at the setup here. I've got my brand new Lace wallet here, and I'll share this in the show notes down below so you guys can actually follow along and see what I'm doing. Because these videos be on a weekly basis, but I may trade on a daily basis. So if you want to see and find out what I'm actually doing, make sure you copy down that address. So here I've loaded up this wallet with just over 1,000 ADA. So I plan to stake and do some other things on this as well. So I need just that little bit more, and then I'll have a baseline of 1,000 ADA to grow. You can check out the wallet on TapTools as well, so you can watch the growth over time. This is all tracked, and hopefully we do see more ADA flow into this with a larger USD value too. So that's the goal and the aim. Now, if you have a look at the on-chain activity, this is Pool PM. It shows what's going on with the ecosystem on a regular basis. You can see live what NFT is being minted and what is being moved around on the chain. But if you have a look at this, This is 1 hour and 24-hour load. So over the last 24 hours, the chain's only being utilized at 18%. That's nothing. That's a fraction of what it used to be last year around this time. If we have a look at C Explorer here, you can see the statistics around block sizes and the use capacity of that block size. So back here in 2022, this is when SundaeSwap launched, and we had smart contracts launched around September in 2021. SundaeSwap ramped things up, and the chain went absolutely crazy. So we could see all these people started coming in. We've got lots of usage of the chain, and this is the NFT boom in 2022. Then 23, we still had a lot of DeFi activity. We were looking for Cardano's DeFi summer. But then after this, this is, what's the date here? December 23rd, 2024. It kind of dwindled off a little bit. I think we had a big pump in SNEK in mid 2024. And then after this, we pretty much went down, very quiet activity. People are starting to move to other chains or doing whatever it is. And then this date here, 24th November, that's the US elections. So that's when things started to kick in and people started to get excited, and Bitcoin started pumping again as well. So this is what we saw most of the activity last year. Then after that kind of dwindled down, tariffs came in, and then the on-chain activity is abysmal at the moment. You can see on the mid-May here, capacity is at a tiny fraction, 11.9. So we really need to drive that up. So if we are starting to burn and churn through treasury funds, we got to see on-chain activity increase as well. And this video series hopefully will encourage you guys to go out there and have a look at what's possible and what's going on in the ecosystem. So here we go. This is a DeFi Llama for anyone that's tracking these statistics as well. This is the TVL, total value locked in smart contracts on the Cardano ecosystem. This is its value in ADA. And since 2024, it's been dropping, been declining slightly. A lot of people aren't participating as much. And you can see it's going down on a downward trend in 2025. So people are moving their assets around somewhere. I don't know where. I'll have to do some investigating and see what's going on here. But we want this ADA value to go up. We want to see this go up. We want to see our bags go up. We want to see general activity go up as well. Now, if you have a look at staking rewards, so for those people out there that are just generally staking their ADA and not doing anything else, staking rewards are dropping. So annualized staking rewards at the moment is at 2.12%. That's dropped quite a bit. So from 4 years ago when I started my stake pool, staking rewards were around 4.5%, even 5% if you're lucky. But that's dropped down to half. So over the last 4 years, that staking rewards has dropped. And this will be a continuing thing. As the reserves, where the ADA is coming from, is released into the ecosystem to all the stakers, we're going to see this diminish even further. So in 4 years' time, this will be down to like 1%. So this is expected. This is the way it's designed. So as the usage of chain goes up, we're relying more so on transaction fees. So transaction fees will drive a lot of this stuff. So we should see the reserves dwindle and the APR on staking rewards go down as well. So this is very accurate. And if you have a look at various stake pools here, 4 years active on my stake pool here, ADAOZ, GMP1, Graham Norton plus 1, 4.5 years. And you can see the returns here on these particular pools. We got the average 2.5 GMP1 on a small stake pool out there. So if you want to decentralize the ecosystem, you can delegate to a small stake pool, just under 2%. And this is one of the big multi-poolers out there. They're giving back 2.12% as well. So the averages around multiple different pools is, as you can see, dwindling there. And it may be a good strategy to stake across multiple different pools. That way you could possibly gain a better average overall if one pool is not doing too well, one pool is doing really well. They help decentralize the ecosystem. So a lot of things there that you can do. So staking, we will look into in a moment as well, but on-chain activity is what we're after at the moment. Now, this is a pretty good time to actually get into DeFi, and this is because DEX fees are dropping. There's been a lot of complaints in the ecosystem that DEXs charge way too much in regards to their fees. And this is a post here by DAP Analysis, and he's complaining about the DEX fees being really high. So Cardano blockchain has 3 million to 4 million in DEX volume per day. This is ridiculous. You understand you need to charge fees to sustain operations, but Cardano will never grow or have volume with high fees. Okay. Harsh take, I know, but I want what's best for a CNT ecosystem. Let's lower fees, incentivize trading contests, pass some marketing efforts from the treasury and get competitive. Yeah, and I totally agree with that. And one of the initiatives that Minswap has done recently is to get rid of their batcher fees. So on a lot of the DEXs, because of contention with usage of UTXOs, they had to come up with a way of trading on the DEX, and they use batches, which is an off-chain bit of code which collates all the transactions and then processes them and then puts them back on chain. So Minswap have reduced that fee. It used to be a long time ago to ADA, then they dropped it down gradually to 1.3, and now it's 0. So it's a good time to jump into the ecosystem because those fees are dropping. So as one DEX drops their fees to 0, others eventually will follow too. And Minswap have accumulated a large DAO, a large treasury, and they can use that treasury to fund themselves now. So that's self-sustaining after 4 years of being Cardano's #1 DEX. So that's really good to see. Okay, so we are in a situation. Let's recap quickly. We need to drive up on-chain activity. It's very low. Staking rewards in general are shit, and we need to increase that to gain better rewards. DEX ecosystem have dropped their fees, so we should see better returns on our swaps overall. So we're in a pretty good position at the moment to start. All right, let's have a look at what's going on at the moment. And I'm having a look at the charts here on ADA USDM, and I'm trying to work out what I should buy next. Should I be selling some ADA at the moment for USD? or should we be looking into buying other assets at the moment? So I'm looking at the charts here, and in the majority of my videos, I never talk about trading. I never talk about chart analysis or anything like that. I don't try and predict the price, but I'm looking at indicators here, and I don't know if you guys know these indicators too well, but I'll explain what I use so I can see what's going on with the market. So the first one here, let me just turn some of these off. So this blue line here, this is the Bollinger Band curves, and it has an upper and a lower limit. So this is the upper one here. And what I use this one for is to have a look at and see if trading activity is breaking those particular Bollinger Bands. So here you can see the green candles going up over the last couple of days. This was after the news that China and the US had come to some sort of agreement, and the UK. So, okay, the UK came to a quasi-agreement framework that they were going to go through and ease tariffs. It was a nothing burger, really, but the market reacted good to it, and China and the US have started negotiating some tariffs as well, but there's still tariffs. Anyway, that's why the market jumped a little bit. So we saw this upward movement, which is a good thing. But here we can see these green candles here for a couple of days breaking the upper Bollinger Band. So these points in time for me would have been good times to sell because it's breaking the upper band. If we go back in time here, this is back on April the 7th here. This would have been a good time to buy because it's breaking. The candles are breaking on consecutive days, breaking the lower band boundary of the Bollinger Band. So I would have purchased then. The other indicator I'll look here at the same time is the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. This is the chart down here. I don't know if you can see it properly on the screen, but down here, it gives you an indicator of how strong the market is going in either direction, if it's an oversell or an overbuying period. So down here with the Bollinger Bands, I can see that the candles are breaking that lower boundary, and the RSI is very low at 30% there. So there's definitely an oversell in the market. With these two indicators, I can see the Bollinger Bands, yep, it's breaking the lower bound, and there is an oversell. That would have been a good opportunity for me to purchase in. And the inverse of that, you can see down here, the upper Bollinger Band is the upper curve there. Candles are breaking the upper bound, and the RSI is over that 70% there. That is definitely an overbuy as well. So I would have sold at those particular points in time. So I would have made a nice little profit from the sell down here up to the, from the buy point down here, sorry, to that sell point up there. That would have been a nice increase. So that would have gone from 58 cents to probably 78 cents. So 20 cent increase there. So that's nice, 20 cents. That would have been good. The other indicator that I like to use is the MAC cross. And this just gives me a general idea and indicator of the movement of the market, which direction it's actually going. So I've just turned off the Bollinger Bands there. And I can see from here, the moving average is the orange line. And then the indicator down here, this line looks at the market trend of the buy and sell. So we've got the average down here. I don't know what date timestamp period that's set on. I probably need to adjust that a little bit for future videos. But you can see here, it's on a downward trend, but then there's a cross here between the two lines. And this is an indicator to let me know that the market overall averages over the last few days is starting to go in an upward trend. That's another really clear indicator from my sell period, which would have been around here on the 7th of April, that the market's tending upwards in an upward trend after that MAC cross. And any time after that would have been a good sell or would have made profit. So they're the indicators that I like to use to try and let me know where I am in the market at the moment. Hopefully I do get to follow them properly during these videos so that we can actually see some profits and gains. So let's see here. At the moment, so we've just missed out on that sell period. So I'm going to wait a little bit before I go into a buying frenzy and use USD to buy any more ADA. So I'm going to side jump here and have a look at what else is possibly a purchase, a good buy at the moment. And now this is TapTools. So if people aren't using TapTools, if you don't know about TapTools, this is a really good ecosystem overview. Everything that's happening in the Cardano ecosystem. So a lot of people in my YouTube comments would complain, the price of ADA isn't going up. What the hell is going on? It's because people are selling that ADA and moving into Cardano native assets and seeing the gains here. So this is what a lot of people were missing out on. So they're seeing ADA go down and they are wondering why it's going down. It's because people are selling that ADA for these Cardano native tokens. That's what's happening here. So I'm trying to look now to see where and what might be a buy opportunity to move from my ADA holdings that I have at the moment over to extra Cardano assets here. So I'm trying to see if there's anything on sale, if there's anything gone down a little bit, and what is upward trending at the moment, what's popular. And there are some projects that are quite popular at the moment. Now, another tool I'll use is Xerberus here. So Xerberus gives the tokens ratings across the ecosystem. Now, I'm just using this as another indicator, another measure to look at, so another tool. I don't entirely agree with everything that they mention here within their rating system. Maybe because I don't believe in the project. Some of them are meme coins, and I just don't understand why they're even in here. And some projects like this, AXO, they're gone. They've rugged. They've sold all their assets and they've liquidated the company. This should not be here anymore. Another project here, LenFi. This shouldn't be here anymore. From all indicators at the moment, they've sold everything in the market. So that should be removed from this rating system too. So I'll take this as a tool and I wouldn't use it as a source of truth. Another tool I'll be using, or two tools, is the SteelSwap DEX aggregator. And I absolutely love this DEX aggregator at the moment. Let me just show you quickly how it works. I've got a tutorial on this on my other YouTube channel. But let's say I was wanting to buy some Bodega tokens, and I just type in 180 here. You can see exactly where and what it's doing to get me the best price across the ecosystem. So you could see there it was at a Splash protocol, and that was coming up with the best price, but then the data feed updated and Minswap gave me the best price. But that's with 100 ADA worth of Bodega. If I increase this up to like 1 million, which I don't have, you can see now it's trying to get the Bodega tokens from Splash, from Minswap, Wi-Fi, and Sunday, because there's liquidity across all those different chains. And now it's looking for where it can split up my 1 million ADA to get the best price of Bodega and get me the most Bodega out of it. So it's really cool that it does that, and I absolutely love it. So I will be using this a lot more. The other really cool thing about this is that SteelSwap's fees are extremely low. So for this 1 million ADA trade, I would have paid SteelSwap only 1 ADA. Now, if I was doing a 100 ADA trade, which I will do in a moment, SteelSwap doesn't charge you any fees. That's really, really beneficial for anyone that is trading on these DEXs. Now, there are some batcher fees here. So Minswap says it's still at 0.7 there. So I'm going to do a comparison between that and swapping directly on Minswap. So I'm going to double check that just to make sure everything's the best price possible. I'm also going to use this one here. This is DEXHunter, another DEX aggregator. I'll connect my wallet here, my Lace wallet. And for that same swap, let's see what DEXHunter gets me. Just curious. A quick swap from ADA to Bodega, 100 ADA. Okay, so here it's saying that it's going through Minswap as well. So 100 ADA will get me 305.04 Bodega. What does SteelSwap get me? Pretty much the same. Yeah, it's going through the same thing. There's just these extra fees that come up on the top. So Batcher 0.7, 2 ADA there for the deposit. And what are the details here? We've got 2 ADA DEX deposit and the DEX fee 0.7 as well. Okay. So not much of a difference there, but good to know. Oh, hang on. Service fee. Okay, so we do that 1 ADA plus a 0.15%. So DEXHunter is just that little bit more expensive, and that will bite into my profits, especially on these small trades. So I won't be using DEXHunter in this case. There's ways around it. Like if I had some Hunter tokens in my wallet, I could get a reduction on those fees, but I'm not interested in buying it at the moment. I'm looking for other gains. Okay, right, we have the scenario, we got all my tools, we got all the indicators, you know what I'm going to be using on a regular basis. Let's have a look at what my options are. Sorry, it's taken so long to get to this point, but painting the picture, painting the scenario is really important. So the first thing here is staking. So I want my idle ADA to actually be doing something for me, and I could stake some directly into stake pools here, which I will do automatically. But then there's also this option here of staking with oADA, and this is the Optum Finance platform. And what this does is allows you to stake your ADA onto the platform. You earn a little bit more than you normally would, so 3.8 as opposed to 2.5, but you give up some of your staking rights, such as voting power or whatever. But if you're purely after the rewards, if you're purely after the ADA, that doesn't matter. You can give up those voting rights, those staking rights, whatever it is, to other people that will be borrowing them from the platform, and you can get that slightly better return. So staking overall for the next month while I'm doing this video series it won't be a massive difference. I'm looking for to maximize my gains with these projects here that I'm going to look at. So maybe I won't stake because the gains 3.8 might not be enough. I want to try and double the amount of ADA I got here. So I'm going to look into some other projects. So oADA, I may come back if I have some assets left over. So here we go. Okay, so this project here is Strike Finance, and it's just launched this week. It's gaining a lot of traction, so it's pretty popular. And what it is it allows you to start a long or a short contract on there. So if you're predicting that the price of ADA will go up over time, you can go long on this, use leverage on that contract, and then cash out on that contract at a later date. So if the price of ADA does go up, fantastic. If it goes down, then you could be liquidated. So it's a good idea to put in stop losses and all that, so you can try and minimize your losses. So this is something that you could possibly gain a lot of ADA from if you choose the direction correctly, depending on which way the market might be going. So I'm looking back at the charts here, and everything seems to be still up on an upward trend at the moment. So I might go in a long position, but take a more shorter path to profit. So I'm just going to look for some minor gains. It may pop back up over 80 cents, and I'll be able to take a small profit off that. Put a stop loss a little bit lower at 75, and I might be okay there. So Strike Finance, I'll probably will put in a position in a moment. I think it still will be on an upward trend. Hopefully the news is good overall over the next week, so we can get a recovery there. The other thing I may look into is Bodega Markets, and this is prediction markets, and this is a way that you can simply place a bet on an outcome of one of these particular events that may be happening. So we've got sporting events, we've got how many earthquakes going to happen in the year, and all this stuff can come in from oracles and whatnot to prove that information is correct. But there's some opportunities here in regards to, one, predicting an outcome of an event, but then also putting up an event for people to bet on. So there's multiple different opportunities here, and a lot of this stuff like the Formula One drivers, the races, don't really know too much about that. But these UFC fights here might be something I could look into and see how they're going. So there's no one participating in these particular markets at the moment. It's active for another day. You can see the day here, 1 day, 18 hours. So I'm going to have a look at what I could possibly put into those to see what I could get. But if I'm the only participant, there's absolutely no point. So I'm not going to win anything against the other person. But we'll see how that one goes. It's going to be an interesting one to look at. The other thing I'll look at also is projects to avoid. And this one here, unfortunately, LendFi used to be a big up-and-coming borrowing lending protocol. And now you can see here from the charts, they've just absolutely tanked. Ever since their project had some security vulnerability that they didn't want to go into, and V2 of the contracts were blocked from the interface. People weren't able to interact with it, and unfortunately everything was locked up from there, and there's been almost zero communication over the last 6 months from the project. So it's not good, and people have started exiting their positions on there. And I have to admit, on my other wallet, I have exited all my LenFi tokens at the moment and exited from that one. So there's definitely things that I want to avoid, and got to keep my ears and eyes opened to see what's happening in the space here. So let's go back and execute on some of this stuff. So first off, I will just simply stake my ADA. So the very first thing, all this ADA here, if it's not doing anything, I have to at least stake it within the ecosystem. That way I can make sure that if I don't execute a trade, if I don't do a perpetual or place a bet, my ADA is doing something and it's being put to work. So obviously I'm going to stake to my own stake pool, ADAOZ. Yep, stake that. Everything looks good. 100% of my ADA to there. Confirm. And type in the sending password, and that is done. There we go. So that is the very first step. That's the very first important thing to do. So now we've done that. Now I won't be able to withdraw rewards because I'm not delegated to a DRep or participating in the ecosystem. So I could go to the voting center and become a DRep, but that will cost me 500 ADA. That's half my balance already. So I'm not going to do that. Now this here is a brand new website that I've set up for my DRep profile. So if anyone wants to actually delegate to me, you can get to it at drep.learncardano.io. Click on delegate, you go down here, you'll get this little wallet connector. Choose your wallet that you're using. In this case, Lace wallet. And then this will just delegate the wallet to my DRep profile, and that's it. No need to copy DRep IDs, go to a certain website or browse around through your wallet. That's all done. Just clicked on delegate. All right, let's expand that. You can see, yep, origin from there, from address. Yep. All the details are correct. To address doesn't go anywhere. It's just a signing of the transaction. So, okay, that looks all good. Let's confirm. All right, so that's been sent off. Okay, so now that should appear in my wallet. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so that's appearing in my wallet now. So I'll just let that go in the background. I'll check on that in a moment. All right, so I do have, let's see, 1,000 ADA to spend here. And I think the very first thing I'll do is go to Strike Finance, connect my wallet, and go on a long position here for ADA, going to at least back up to 80 cents over the next couple of days, next week at least. So let's create this long position. Let's put in 300 ADA. I'm going to use a third of my ADA here. Oh no, okay. Look, I didn't realize that. So there's not enough liquidity in Strike Finance to go on a long position at the moment. Okay, that's not good. So that takes away one of my options here. Now I do know that Strike Finance have been putting more and more liquidity in. So we're averaging 1,000 transactions per day since mainnet launch. Liquidity has been maxed out almost every moment it's been available. Users' liquidity deposits should be available starting next week. Okay, so we are needing to wait for this one. So unfortunately, guys, I can't show you that at the moment. If you do want video tutorials, I've got it on the Learn Cardano website where I actually could go through and perform actions on that. But I am going to have to wait till next week before being able to go into and create an open contract on this. Here you can see available liquidity. I don't know if you can see it clearly, but it's $96 there. That's available. That's on launch. So the longest contract I could go into was at that point, up to $96. So that's unfortunate. That's really, really annoying. I wanted to get into a long position. Okay, let's go back and have a look at what else I can get into then. So here, I could also possibly buy some of the Strike tokens. They've been doing really well at the moment. And then also Bodega at the moment as well. So let's have a look at the charts for Strike. And yeah, it has been doing really well. And there's a bit of a retracement there. So I'm going to use the same principles that I showed you a little bit earlier with the price of ADA that let me know not to possibly buy at the moment. So I'm going to look at the indicator here. Bollinger Bands, and then also RSI. Relative Strength Index. Okay, we're an overbuy. We're overbuying at the moment. So people are really buying into it, but it's starting to sell off. So it might, I'm going, I can't buy it now. Timing's a thing. So I'm going to go with the indicators here. We are definitely in a oversell period. So it's a good time to sell at the moment. I'm going to wait for this to retrace at a better point. You can see people taking profits. I'm going to wait for this to retrace before jumping into it. So I'm logged in. There should be a heart thing here somewhere so I can heart this project. Then that way it appears on my dashboard. Yeah, I can't see it. All right, I have to get back to that. Let's go back into Bodega Markets here. This is the other one I'm looking at the moment. So we've got the token. Is it a good time? No, it's oversell as well. Same indicators there, been on a massive upward trend over the last few days. Okay, let's go into some other solid projects. We also got SNEK. SNEK has been getting exchange listings at the moment. And there was a rumor that KuCoin is looking into SNEK's community, and it was a direct repost. Okay, looks like we're in a good sideways movement of trading at the moment. So I might just load up on a little bit of SNEK just to try and get some gains on the upwards and downwards movements, sideways movement, I should say, over the next couple of days. So I'm going to launch into that one and buy that one. So I'm going to go here directly through Minswap. Okay, we're looking good there. These are nice. All right, execute that. There we go. All right. Now I know a lot of people out there, you're going to say, Pete, why are you buying meme coins? I'm looking for the gains here, boys. I'm looking for the gains. I'm here purely to increase the value of this portfolio over the next month or however long I do this series. So that's my first purchase. That's my first buy. I've got a bit of exposure in the markets here now, guys. Let's see what I can get into next. Let's go back to the dashboard. SNEK, the other project I'm very keen on is Iagon. So now my idea and strategy here isn't just to look into what's trending, what's going up and down. Of course, I want those highly trending tokens as well, because I know those ones will get me the most gains. But if I drop the ball for any reason, at least I'm holding onto a token that I believe in regards to the project and what they're building. So Iagon, building cloud services, decentralized storage, and decentralized compute. Very good project. I've used their platform. I do have some storage on there and hold IOG tokens myself. So this is something I'm going to buy a position in as well. So let's go to SteelSwap, ADA, and then IG 200 on that. Let's execute this one. Now, what I should have done is actually check the charts of that. So let's check the charts and double check to see if it was actually a good time to buy. Yeah, it is. Okay. I had a gut feeling it was. Sideways movement of that one as well. We've got breaking the upper there, breaking the lower here. So how many days is that? November 27th to December 8th. December 8th. Okay, so it looks like we're on monthly buy and sell periods here on this particular token. So from that particular point in time, let's get it all out. So from there to here, we got 21 days. So it's roughly a little while in between the trades on IAG. So I'll be waiting for a bit to see how we go with this one. So this one here went really high. And so let's say this really low point here. So from a potential sell point to a buy point is 37 days. Okay, so we've got a good amount of time that we can hold on to this one here. The sideways movement, we don't know what's happening. I don't think there's too much big news coming out from IAG at the moment. But again, got to keep our eyes peeled. I'm going to check my wallet. Okay, yep, the tokens did come through. So got 865 IAGs, SNEK 43,000, ADA still have. Just going to check my voting center to see if that vote did come through. Let's just refresh TapTools here. Ah, great. Okay, so that's delegated to the DRep there. Should be loading up my name, but it's not yet. There we go. Okay, good. So that delegation, everything's working. Wallet's all set up. Staking to ADAOZ. Okay, all right. Just checking to make sure everything's good. It's always good to check. Okay, so now my positions I think are okay. Let's refresh TapTools portfolio. I'm in a good holding position. I'm now waiting for good sell positions at the moment. So I still have quite a bit of ADA here that I'm holding on to. So I need to see if I can get any more gains with that. And I may now actually open up a position for a short period of time, staking some oADA. And they've still got a little tiny bit of room left in the stake oADA vault. Very little, but there's still room. So let's connect here. Am I connected? Yes. I'm going to put in 200 ADA on this one as well. Actually, I have to mint it first. So 200 to get 200 oADA. So this is converting ADA into oADA. oADA is a mirrored synthetic of ADA, but without any of the voting rights because it's a different asset. So you can't get to governance voting rights or anything like that. Catalyst or whatever it is. So I'm going to mint this oADA. It's going to cost me a little bit to do. I'm losing a little bit off the top here every time I'm interacting and doing something. I've got to make sure I'm profitable on the exit of all this stuff. Okay, so that's done. So now I've got the oADA in my wallet. Now I can stake all of that, and I do want to stake it all. So I'm going to type in 200. Yeah, there's still room. Let's stake that oADA. Great. Okay, we're done. Okay, so now I can potentially gain some extra here from the oADA, a little bit of extra staking rewards, which will be better than just staking on the stake pool. And I have some potential sell positions for my tokens here. I've got Iagon and SNEK that I can potentially sell. I might put in some take profit or orders over the next couple of days, but I'll keep you guys updated with that. And I still have some ADA left over, and that's really important. We're playing the waiting game here. We're looking for buy opportunities. I'm looking for buy opportunities for those other tokens that I did mention just before. I'm looking for buy opportunities for Strike token here. It's definitely an over selling period. So I'm not going to buy at the moment. It's selling time. People are taking profits. I'm going to wait for a buying opportunity on Strike, wait for a buying opportunity on oADA. I'm going to wait for a opportunity to get into a perpetuals contract here. And I'm going to do some further research into what I could possibly put up on Bodega Markets to get some gains here as well. So Eurovision. I might have found something. This might be interesting. Now I got to go watch some Eurovision stuff to actually make an educated guess here. Okay, all right, guys. So I'll leave it there. I think overall we're good. I'm participating in DeFi at the moment. My everything's all set up. If you want to follow the wallets, links, and everything down below. Also like to mention that this video is kind of sponsored by the Cardano Foundation. I'm using their impact pot, some funds from that to do some research around the various projects, allocate some time to it. So thank you so much to the Cardano Foundation for giving those funds so I can actually do these videos. Now, like I said, none of this is financial advice. This is purely for educational entertainment purposes. If you enjoy watching me lose all my assets from my bag, sure, so be it. Just make sure you hit that thumbs up, like, subscribe, notification bell. I'll keep you guys entertained in this process, but hopefully we learn something and maybe you guys can investigate what's happening in the Cardano ecosystem and participate in DeFi as well. It's going to be fun. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast. Gotta get it hype. Crypto is what we like, but this is not investment or financial advice. Gotta do your research, cause it's risky. We know it is. This show is educational and it's informative. Crypto's the future, really, it ain't no debate.